Boys, what's cracking? It's your boy D, and this is DeezCards. Just about to head out to work, and I wanted to give you my quick thoughts on the 60 card deck pile that apparently was the meta for this format. At least where I went to the locals, a lot of people were saying it's a 60 card format. There's a lot of YouTube videos of people saying it's a 60 card format. You saw people cramming in the adventure package. You saw Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer and the Scythe Lock and a bunch of different decks, and people really seemed to think that that was the meta. But then when you look at the YCS results, that deck did not perform like people were thinking. And to me, I always thought the 60 card thing was a little weird because as long as I've been into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh!, which isn't really that long, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos for a while, pretty much everybody's been saying that 40 cards is the meta because you want to see your best cards the most often. And then when you look at these 60 card deck lists, there's not a whole lot of starter cards, you got a decent amount of bricks, and then they're cramming it with a bunch of hand traps. And it just never really makes sense to me. I didn't jump on that trend, and don't get me wrong, when I went to locals, I definitely lost to that deck a few times, and it can do some pretty crazy things. But I also won because the deck bricked, and then they had a couple of top decks in a row that just weren't able to get their combos started. The YCS winner played a 40 card Prank Kids deck. So again, I'm just not really super convinced, and I would like to get your guys' feedback down below why you think that that was even ever popularized. I kind of think it was a trend, maybe a really good player started using it, and a lot of people took after them and wanted to give it a shot themselves, but it just didn't perform like how I thought it might at the YCS. But yeah, it just makes sense. 40 versus 40, gotta love to see it. You just want to see your best cards the most often. And again, if you're playing 60 cards with a bunch of different hand traps, I feel like that kind of ignores the meta a little bit because you're putting all of the different hand traps in there and you're not really tailoring your choices to the meta as much if you just stuck to like 10 to 15 hand traps in your 40 card deck that are going to be the most effective against the meta. So I just wasn't ever really convinced that that was the right choice in deck building, but a lot of people seem to hop on it. Maybe it was just a trend. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. Got 'em.